Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's gonna be a little bit of a different video. It's more of a story time, and I thought it was pretty amusing, so I figured why not do like a chatty story time with you, because whatever, this is my life. And I thought like it was like a monumental moment for me, and it's so funny. Until this day I still tease him about it, and so sorry if you're watching this. Not sorry. I'm still gonna tease him for like the rest of my life. It's just so good. So, I've been dating this guy, and he works out of town a lot. And so he is literally out of town probably like half of the year, I feel like. I barely see him a couple days out of the month, because he's always traveling for work and working and blah 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 blah. So it's kind of good for me, but because I do like my space, but sometimes it could be really annoying, especially the communication. It's very difficult. I don't recommend it. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Like, you really got to work for it. So anyways, that's besides the point. So I hadn't seen him in a while. At this point, it had been like a month. This was like a couple weeks ago. It had been, let's see, a month, over a month, like a month and a week or a month and 2 weeks since I had last seen him. And so I saw him or whatever, and we go to dinner, and normally our dinner conversations, we catch up. Like, sometimes there's not much of a conversation. It really just depends. But mind you, I hadn't seen him in over like a month and a half or something like that. So we had a lot to talk about. And so we go to dinner, and we ended up going to this place that we went on our first date, which was like backtrack like 2.5 years or 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, something like that. Probably like 2.5, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we go to this restaurant, and we sit down, and I'm like rambling about nothing or everything, just me being me. And then I always like say like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm weird, I know. Or I can't remember exactly what I said. I'm like, wow, like, this is my life. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm so not normal. And he's like, no one's normal. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I think that a better way to say it is people just put on a facade, or people just, want to be like, do, because social media is like that platform that you can make up a life that is a fairy tale, that is a life that you don't actually like live, and that's what social media is. Like, Facebook is literally to either like brag about something or vent about something, and that's just that. So whatever, that's besides the point. And so I'm just like, yeah, okay, you're right, like, I know I'm not normal. He's like, honestly, you always say that like you're not normal and you're weird, but you're not that weird. And I'm like, I beg to differ, but I'm so thankful that I have you to tell me that I'm not weird, because I do some really weird shit. Like, full on conversations with myself as I'm getting ready, doing my makeup, like yelling, being mad because my winged eyeliner didn't go the right way. Or I remember this one time, I had one of the Becca highlighters, and I planned on having that thing forever, because this is so off subject, but it's kind of funny. So I plan on having it forever, because if it was a big highlighter, whatever. And so it had like a little fleck in it, like flick of it, I don't know. And so I went to like dump it out in the trash can, and I went like that, and the whole pan fell in the trash can. And I was like, okay, because that's totally cool. Like, I'm not gonna fish that stuff out of the trash. Like, I mean, but there goes the entire highlighter. Like, and he thinks it's just the most funniest thing in the world, and I'm like over here having a panic attack because I don't have any more highlighter, and like, what the heck. So anyways, he finds it humorous. I'm just like, oh, I am pretty weird. Like, I like weird things, and like, it's blah, 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 blah. So anyways, I lost my train of thought. So there's that. Back to this story. So we or he was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, or he started like saying like, oh, so I was dating this girl, and I'm like, oh no, stop right there. Like, mind you, I haven't seen him in over like a month, and I'm like, if you're gonna sit here and like talk about another female while I'm right here, I'm not having it. Like, I'm gonna get so upset. He's like, no, 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 just listen, just listen. And I'm just like, okay, like, fine. Like, I'm freaking out over here. So he's like, yeah, I was dating this girl, and she was like really into meditation. And I'm like, okay, like, I can get on that. Like, okay, yoga, meditation, I'm down on that. Like, that's not weird. And so he's like, no, 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 but it gets better. And I'm like, all right, let's see where this is going then. And so I'm listening to him chit chat, and I'm just like, I really hope I do not get angry at this, because oh my gosh. So he's like, yeah, she would go out to like the desert or whatever and like meditate. And one time she came back and she said that she connected, and I'm like, connected to what? Like, what? You're in the desert, we connect to the sand? Like, I don't know. That is kind of weird. And I'm like, okay, that is kind of weird. And so so he's like, yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, what does that mean? And he was like, the like, if you guys know him, he is so funny. And the thing about it is, I could not wrap my head around the fact that he went with this story this whole time. Like, he totally was like asking her questions about it, and he was like, oh, okay. And I'm just like, why didn't you just tell her, like, that's fucking weird. Like, that is really weird, and you're making me uncomfortable, because that's exactly what I would say. I actually have been in an awkward situation like that, which is a whole nother story time video. But there will be a lot of things, because a lot of weird shit happens. And my dog decided she wanted in on this video, so she's gonna be roaming around over here. I'm sorry, but she is super attached to me. And if you guys don't know her, this is Dolce. She hates me, but she follows me everywhere, so it's fine. Like, love-hate relationship, you know? Kind of like an actual relationship. But, okay, never mind. That's weird. That's so weird. So, back to what I was saying. So, he was like, yeah, she, like, went and she was, like, meditated, and, like, she connected with, like, blah, blah, blah. And I can't, this is not word for word, because this happened a couple weeks ago, and I wish I would have recorded it like in that time frame so it was fresh in my memory and like in my head. But I got sick with my flare up, and so that was that. So now that I'm feeling better, here we go. So he was like, yeah, she connected, and she said that or she had said, like, earlier when they were like in their dating or whatever, I forgot how long they dated, that she recognizes him and she's seen him somewhere. He's like, no, you haven't. Like, no, you haven't. Like, you really haven't. And she just kept saying it, and he's like, okay, like, whatever, just let it go. So she was like, yeah, I used to know you in a past life. Like, you were my king, and blah, 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 and all this crazy shenanigans. I wish I could remember, like, exactly what it was, but she was just like, sorry, she's distracting. Dolce, stop. Oh my god. Never a dull moment. It could literally just be me, and something crazy will happen. Like, I could just be sitting here, and there's just so much chaos. Like, I do not know. So basically, she went out to the desert. She decided that she was going to meditate the fuck out of that desert and connected to Lord knows what, and saw that she knew him in a past life, like 1,000 years ago, and he was her king, or the king of, like, I don't know. I can't remember, because I was just in complete shock that he was being actually serious. Like, this seriously happened. And the fact that he went with it, like, the storyline, and kept asking her questions, like, oh, well, was so much better to me. Like, I just couldn't imagine him, like, doing that. I don't know. So I remember one time he had told me, like, yeah, one time she texted me and she was like, she called me her king, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you know, calling someone like your king I mean, some couples do it, like, okay, whatever, like, I wouldn't do it. I think that's kind of weird, like, you're not my king, like, that's, no. I'm not a princess, I'm not a queen, and sometimes they joke about that, but, like, I don't take it seriously. But she was, like, dead serious, like, you're my king, like, we met in a past life and all this stuff, like, full on with him. Mind you, I think he's, like, the biggest dork, goofy geek in the entire universe, which doesn't say a lot about me, but, like, I could not imagine someone even, like, thinking that or saying that about him. Like, no offense to him and no offense to me, but, like, we're not the coolest people in the planet. So there's that. And I just thought it was so funny. And I'm sitting there and I'm, like, pretty sober. And, like, we had a drink or a couple drinks with dinner. And I'm just, like, it was the most monumental moment ever. And I was just like, wow. I never felt more normal in my entire existence. It was so great. Like, it was so good. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what is she? Like, what? Could you imagine going on a date with someone who literally told you that you are their king? You were a king in a past life 1,000 years ago, and, like, they literally thought in their head that you were their king, if that makes sense. It was weird, and I'm, like, sitting there listening to that, like, I'm like, wow, this is really my life, because I'm sitting here at dinner listening to this conversation just so he can prove that, like, I'm not that weird. And I'm just like, I guess you're kind of right. Like, I mean, I know that I'm not normal, but I think that the reason for that is just people, social media put on this, like, great big, like, you know, I'm so this, I'm so cool, like, I'm so poppin', I'm this, blah, blah, blah. And in reality, when you meet them or get to know them, it's nothing like that. So, yeah, there's that. I thought you guys would enjoy this story time. And if you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to just... Okay, that's my personality. Like, I'm a mess. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.